Many people don't believe it will happen to them, but falls at work occur every day. Even a fall from a low height can result in serious injury and permanent disability. Don't wait for someone at your workplace to fall before you start to take height safety seriously. This program shows you how to prevent falls through risk assessment and the use of control measures. Safety issues and procedures for equipment used to work at height are featured, such as scaffolds, fall arrest systems, ladders and trestles, and elevated work platforms. A risk assessment allows you to identify the circumstances that could cause people to fall and improve conditions to reduce and control risk. An extensive worksite risk assessment usually includes an investigation of all locations and tasks that might cause someone to fall. How to protect people from falling objects is also assessed. The outcome of a risk assessment is a practical plan that specifies safeguards and procedures. Methods to complete jobs in the safest way are determined. Job sequencing is arranged so that workers do not work above or below each other at the same time. Individuals should assess the safest way to complete a task. Before you start a job, a risk assessment of your work environment and the equipment you are to use is required. Check equipment for faults before use. Don't use faulty equipment. Understand the capabilities and the limitations of your equipment. Follow pre-operational checks specified in the manufacturer's instructions. Assess locations for conditions that could be hazardous. Loose soil, slippery and uneven surfaces are unstable. Could vehicles or pedestrians collide with equipment? Place warning signs and barricades around work areas as a control measure. If materials could fall to the ground due to work above, make sure people below keep clear of the area. Debris nets or a coverway could be constructed. Look up. You should not work near power lines. Guardrails and barricades around edges, holes in floors, structures and stairwells are a priority fall prevention measure. Confirm the strength of a roof before you work on it. Roof construction could be incomplete with unsecured materials. A roof could be brittle due to old age. Keep clear of weaker structures such as roof skylights, smoke vents and gutters. Place barricades and signs to warn people about fragile areas. Consider the weather conditions. Wet and icy surfaces or wind gusts could be an unacceptable risk. Are workers using chemicals such as solvents or paints that may cause dizziness or loss of coordination? Protective clothing such as slip-resistant boots, gloves, safety glasses and helmets reduce exposure to hazards. If any unexpected fall hazards are identified before or during the job, notify your supervisor. Scaffolding is a common means of providing a safe platform for working at height. Scaffolds can only be erected, altered and dismantled by people with a certificate of competency of the appropriate class. The structure should have guardrails, toe boards and safe step or ladder access. If a component of the scaffolding is missing, damaged or a fault is discovered, report it to your supervisor. A range of scaffolds and working platforms are available. Be aware of their limitations. Every class of scaffold has a safe working load limit. Light-duty scaffolds are suitable for tasks such as plastering, painting, and electrical work. Medium-duty scaffolds are used for carpentry and most other general trades. Bricklaying, concreting, and demolition work requires heavy-duty scaffolds. Special precautions have to be taken if power lines hang near a platform. Keep scaffolds clear of debris and obstructions. Remove tripping hazards. Scaffolds are primarily for access and are not places to store materials or equipment. If you do fall from height, wearing a safety harness can save you. Fall arrest systems are used where workers are required to carry out jobs near an unprotected edge. There are a number of different fall arrest systems, including static and inertia reel systems. Vertical and self-retracting anchorage lines can be used for work performed from bosun's chairs and ladders. Only people suitably trained and supervised should install and use fall arrest systems. Don't work alone. Have a rescue plan prepared before you commence work, so you know how to respond if a fall occurs. Fall arrest systems should only be set up with components that are known to be compatible. Make sure all the components are checked and in good order prior to starting work. Frayed and torn material or bent metal fittings indicate that the equipment could break under the strain of a fall. Wear the safety harness properly. The belts around your shoulders, waist, and upper legs should not be left slack. Poorly fitted belts can cause bruising or serious injury in the event of a fall. Snap hooks that attach to the lanyard and anchor points should require at least 2 deliberate actions to open. Do not connect snap hooks to each other or back onto the lanyard. The anchorage point should be sturdy and as high as the equipment permits. If you work above the anchor point, the free fall distance will increase. Use a short lanyard where practical. The longer the free fall distance of the lanyard, the greater the jolt on the person in the harness when their fall is stopped. A long line system can cause a pendulum effect when the line drops along an edge, swinging a worker to the ground or into an object. When you are not using the lanyard, don't let it drag along the ground and be careful not to get it caught in moving parts, such as a lift. Store equipment in a clean, dry area, free of fumes, sunlight, or corrosive materials. Place it in a way that does not warp or distort the belts. Take the time to properly set yourself up. As a general rule, for every 4 meters the ladder extends up the wall, place its base 1 meter out from the wall. Place the raised end of a ladder so it overhangs about 1 meter above a landing for access purposes. Use an effective means to prevent a ladder from slipping and sliding. An assistant could hold and foot the ladder, or the base could be chocked. If practical, tie the base and top of the ladder to a solid object. Before using a stepladder, make sure it's locked in the fully open position. Don't use a stepladder near the edge of an open floor. If the ladder topples, you could fall over the edge. use an elevated work platform or a scaffold for jobs at an extreme height rather than overextending a long ladder. To maintain an extension ladder's strength, a good length of overlap should be kept between extensions. Use industrial-grade ladders that are designed to take a higher load rating capacity than domestic ladders. As you move higher up a ladder, the risk of toppling increases. The highest you are permitted to stand on a ladder is the third rung below the top plate. Never stand on the top plate to work. Remember your center of gravity limitations. Never overreach. Take the time to move a ladder so you are safely positioned. When you do a job where contact with electricity could accidentally occur, use a wooden or fiberglass ladder. Make sure your shoes are free of mud and grease so you don't make rungs slippery. Use a tool belt to keep your hands free as you face a ladder to climb and work. Only one person should be on a ladder at a time. Use of personal protective equipment that restricts vision or jobs such as welding must not be performed from a ladder. If you require two hands to hold a tool while on a ladder, you must use equipment such as a pole strap to support your body. Realize the limitations of working from a ladder and use a platform where appropriate. When performing light tasks, a trestle ladder system using scaffold planks makes a good platform. It is generally considered acceptable to work from a trestle ladder without guardrails if the fall height is not greater than 2 meters. However, it should be noted that current regulations on the maximum work height should be checked with the appropriate authorities. Be sure to erect and use a trestle ladder setup according to the manufacturer's specifications, which includes the grade of planks to use and how to securely install guardrails. There are a range of elevated work platforms, such as travel towers, boom lifts, scissor lifts, and cherry pickers. A certificate of competency is required to operate certain units. Units should be used on a flat, firm surface. Unit stabilizers or outriggers should be fully extended and leveled. Where necessary, use suitable metal or timber spreaders to provide a firm base. A mobile work platform's wheels should be locked when it is in a stationary position. If you use a suspended or elevated work platform, you should wear a safety harness with its lanyard attached to a secure anchorage point on the platform. Distribute weight on the platform evenly. Never exceed the safe working load of the unit. Platforms should not be used as cranes or to prop up structures. Maintain your balance on a platform and don't overextend yourself in a dangerous manner. Do not stand on the guardrails or climb out at height. Communicate with your work team. If you are the driver of a motor-propelled unit, or if the structure has to be manually moved, inform everyone when an adjustment is to happen. Make sure people are well clear of moving parts before you raise or lower the platform. Although there are exceptions specified by manufacturers, booms usually have to be lowered before the unit travels. Travel at a slow pace. Keep a safe distance from changes in slope, depressions, debris, buildings, and overhead power lines. keep a work platform locked and out of the way when it is not in use. Before you work at height, there are a range of potential hazards that you should look for during a risk assessment. Implement control measures to reduce the risk of injury. A scaffold has weight limitations and sometimes mishaps can damage a structure. If you notice something wrong with the scaffold, see that the damage is repaired. Wearing a safety harness is necessary fall protection when you use a suspended or elevated work platform. Don't risk falling. If you have to work near an unprotected edge, use a fall arrest system. Protect yourself and properly set up a ladder or trestle. Prevent the conditions that could cause you to fall by making the right moves to ensure your safety.